While the square of Mars and Saturn was exact on November 25th, the effects of this restriction of energy are still reverberating as the month begins. Additionally, as Mars will be in Sagittarius throughout December into early January of 2024, the world will be lit up for some time. Mars in Sagittarius is highly motivated, optimistic, and bullish, or alternatively rash, reckless, and intolerant. Depending on how you express this energy and where it's happening, you may find its square with Saturn to have been a wet blanket on your parade. Mars is also war and violence, and with Sagittarius there is a cultural or religious tinge to how or why one fights. Of course, with the tinderbox in the Middle East, this energy can be incendiary. Saturn will either slow down the proceedings or frustrate attempts at justice, Sag. In either case, rather than exploding, it would be better to take a step back and assess the situation. Saturn in Pisces is pointing out that there are victims, and or if Saturn represents the authority figure, that they are inept and lacking in true power. Both Pisces and Sagittarius energies have a spiritual bent, and if one is centered and also aware of their shadow, the presence of these signs could bring wisdom to the situation at hand. Likewise, Sag has an ecumenical, Catholic, and multicultural flavor, while Pisces can describe the sense of awe and wonder with the beauty of creation. The planets of Mars and Saturn were traditionally considered malefics, the bad guys of the zodiac, and oftentimes referred to masculine characters. We can certainly encounter the real-life versions of Mars and Sag in rambunctious salesmen or state propagandists, while Saturn in Pisces may be represented in disingenuous clergymen or incompetent medical practitioners. But it is likely that we are none of these examples, and as Mars will be very strong over the next 5 weeks, how can we use the energy to best advantage? Where is the combustion likely to take place, and who or what seems to be stopping you? Once you've integrated or transmuted the doubt, you can move forward with gusto. For Aries, you feel strongly about your political beliefs and yet have some guilt or sense of futility in expressing them. Are you on target? If so, push past the fear and express your views. For Taurus, your partner may have some optimistic or unrealistic financial goals, and your friends will reflexively advise caution. After some consideration or research, you can potentially get on board with your partner's plans. For Gemini, you may be interested in traveling or connecting with new people, but your work or boss imply you are not serious about the job. Are your superiors' concerns real or based on their own sense of limitation or conventionality? For Cancer, you may want to consider alternative therapies for a physical condition, but does your matrix mindset question their validity? Health practices should be based on research and observation, not religious or family conditioning. For Leo, you have some new creative ideas, but your partner is not interested in hearing them. Unless you are a gambler, your significant other may likely be in a fearful state, and your reassurance will probably bring them around. For Virgo, you'd love to make some changes in the home, but your significant other is dragging their feet. Determine the source of their concern, and it is likely that they will be open to your suggestions in the end. For Libra, you feel like joining up with a community group who shares your enthusiasm. Make sure it doesn't interfere with your work. Does this truly interest you, or are you just bored with your job? For Scorpio, you're more interested in making money now rather than art. Is this based on real security concerns or inherited ones? You may be having a temporary dry spell, but it's likely that you will once again be able to make money from your art. For Sagittarius, you've got the travel or education bug, but how will this impact your ability to pay the rent? You may be able to work it out with a bit of practical money management. For Capricorn, you've got a gnawing itch to break free and explore new ideas, but your peers are afraid you won't hold down the fort. This is more based on their seeing you as a father figure than about what you actually need. For Aquarius, social media is awash with the latest cause, and you wonder if there's something wrong with you for not feeling it. Consider if this is really relevant to you or if your energy is better spent elsewhere. For Pisces, the news of the day, war, seems to pervade the atmosphere, and like Aquarius, you don't seem to be on board. You are redefining yourself now, so think bigger picture for yourself rather than the latest fad issue. In closing, while we may have to deal with a short delay first, we can get moving on with our plans and visions, particularly if they are in true expression of our beliefs. I met astrologer Patrice Kamens.